Hey everybody, welcome to Strategy Sunday. Now, last Sunday's Strategy Sunday went very well. This week I will feature a game in straight map that we discussed last Sunday. With my Julio Cesar, the team followed the instructions perfectly, or my suggestions, or the sort of tactics that we did, and obviously we won. It worked brilliantly. Now, there was a comment, somebody asked for the map ring. I keep calling it the ring, but it's actually just the map ring. It's a 4 to 6 map. And yeah, I go into some simple strategies there, and I really hope you enjoy it. Hey folks, all right. So I had a request to do ring as a map for Strategy Sundays. Now, Ring is a map that you will see between Tier 4 and Tier 6. Mostly lower tiers, although I have seen it quite a bit in my Ismail. I have a brilliant Ismail replay that I'll put in the comment section of this. Go and check it out. It's pretty good. So, what do you usually find? Usually 2 sets of caps, mostly in normal game mode. Select Grey. And you got the 2 cap circles over there. Now, sometimes you will have the triple cap circles. Something like that. Let's redo that bottom one. Yeah, something like that. Either or doesn't really affect how you play the game very much. So, if we start with destroyers... destroyers have a difficult time, and I'll explain why. The thing that bothers me about this map is destroyers all, and excuse the French, but I have to say this, they all fuck off into here. And then there's an entire cluster in this center section here, and leads to just a total fuck up. Now, my favorite thing with destroyers, rather sneak through here, try and cap it, and as I said, as always, point your bow outwards. If you're from the bottom, come in, try and point outwards so you can slide out that way. Destroyer here, destroyers can come through here. If you have 4 destroyers and you have one of the faster boats, let's say you're a tier 6 and you have, what is it, Vaculan, or is that a 7? One of the Frenchies, it was fast one. One of the nice things, and this happens for this, I don't want to say happens, this counts for both sides. You can sneak past here and make a play. And I'll explain why when we get to the cruisers and battleships. So this is your standard DD play here. I try and avoid this center area because it's going to be flooded with torps. There's going to be a hell of a lot of cruisers coming past here, and I'll show you in a second the cruiser plays, and that leads to all sorts of disasters on the inside. So if you are a new destroyer player, try and avoid this center cap when it's there. If it's the 2 big caps there, try and avoid playing in there. If you're an experienced DD player, and let's say you've got a T61, the tier 6 premium German destroyer, I believe it is, and you got nearly 500,000 to 1 million XP on it, go play in there. You understand the concepts of DDs, but we're focusing on newer players here. Stay out of that inside area. That's my recommendation. If you differ, please leave it in the comments. Now let's look at cruisers. I see too many cruisers coming past here. They skirt too close to this area, and what happens? Torpedoes come out. If one went in here and they're here, torpedoes come out and they get death struck with torpedoes. This is a little bit of a death alley as well. Don't go there. What I usually do, you've got your destroyers coming in. I try and use the islands there as cover. I try and play the right side of this map more if I'm a cruiser, and I'll explain why. You have some islands to provide cover. If you can get down to this, you can use that island, even that, and that counts for both. Up here, there's a lot of open water. There's a lot of open water over there. I have seen too many cruisers come. They come past, they show broadside over here, and then they try and turn around, and then they get absolutely blapped. Try not to. If you have to, try go very wide, pointing your bow in. Alternatively, try and remain unspotted. Make a turn, point your bow that way, and start firing across things here. Same story here. Go wide, point downwards, and come here. That is how I try and play destroyers. Apologies, that's how I try and play cruisers in this map. But cruisers have a tough time up here. Battleships. Battleships, one of the nice lines, and it is again the line I take in the Ismail, is sort of that way. I don't recommend a battleship come close here. There's just too many torpedoes from experienced battleship players going on the inside there. I would avoid this. If you're confident, if you have a fast loading battleship, I can't think of one now. Not even my Julio Cesar I would take in there. What you will do, what I usually do is I go outside there, try and fire across there. If you have a cruiser that was stupid enough to go in here, you can crossfire into him. This island in particular isn't very high either. Battleships on the south side, through the islands there, turn sort of outwards, see what the other team does. Same here. Come through this area. You can use these islands to break line of sight should they be pushing too heavily. This also allows the battleship to have full broadside on the cruisers that might be making mistakes over there, and the same for the north battleships. If there's a cruiser here or one coming through here, it gives them a perfect line of sight and they can fire across it. This is why I also said destroyers make a play for this sort of straight here, this gap here. If you have a battleship coming in and you were fast enough to get there, that makes a very good torp alley. Now, your biggest problem with tier 6 destroyers is your torpedoes aren't very, they're 6 kilometers, maybe a bit more, but you can make it work. Up here, I found it gets difficult. If you're a battleship there, you're starting to expose yourself over here. And that's why I never go there. What I'd rather do is, as I pointed here, I move in and I start pointing my bow that way. Same if I'm a north battleship. I point my bow that way, give them about 25 to 30 degree angles. I can bounce most of the shells off, and then you see how the match develops. What you can also do is, as your cruiser turns over there, you can provide covering fire, because you can take a hell of a lot more. If you're in an Omaha turning there and kiting away, and you're a battleship there, they're still going to shoot at the Omaha. But we're talking inexperienced players. They're going to look at the closest battleship and just shoot that. Experienced players will do that. I have seen, let's select the right color. I have seen DDs play here. And if you're a Shimakaze at tier 10, perfect, that makes sense. You can do that. You're not a Shimakaze. You're not a Yoshino with 20k torps. You're not any of the destroyers that have the long range torps to get down here. So I would avoid there. Here, because of the islands, it allows you a lot more area to work with and a lot more area to play. CVs. Now, where is Louise when I need him with CV play? CVs, they can try and control the middle section. See if bombers or something can do there. Alternatively, if I was a CV, I would focus on keeping these lanes clear. So if your destroyer is going there and there's a battleship coming in here, try and dissuade the battleship. Same with the battleships are up here. Fly around, dissuade them. Same here. I've had a battleship here and I've been non-stop harassed. Unfortunately, here in tier 4 or sometimes a 4 to 6, you will face double CV games. Then it gets very interesting. The Ismail game that I link at the bottom of this map, I had double CVs. I actually got AA defense expert, and I was playing around this island up here with a Congo. Let's select the right color. This Congo came down here. He cut across like that, and I managed to catch him slightly like that. Good match. He wasn't making any sort of mistakes. So, to recap, not the hardest map to play. Biggest mistake new players make is going for the center cap. If you as a destroyer, and let's just select the right color. If you as a destroyer, you can control that, and you leave that one for them. Your points are still double ticking. If the cap circles are here, those two cap circles, and you can do more spotting than trying to sneak through here and be a sneaky little destroyer. You're going to be far more useful to your team. And that's why I said sometimes spotting damage is, and staying alive to be able to spot. And it's a mistake I see a lot of DD players make. They see a ship, they spot it, and immediately they start open gunboating, not realizing there's a cruiser or maybe another destroyer hiding that's gone dark, and then they get blapped. So, lots of messing up here, etc. Then, hopefully, if Amazon ships my packages soon enough, I've actually ordered a proper electronic sketch pad. So in future, I shouldn't be having to use my mouse here. They said it's going to arrive about 7th of December. So, that's another 2.5 weeks. But it was important to do this properly, especially considering we're moving into some of the higher tier maps that needs a little bit of finer detail. But yeah, that is the Ring as a map. It's a fun map to play. Just stay out of that center. There should be signs on this wall that says, "Here be dragons. Let's stay out of here." Anyway, I know the Ring as a map was requested in the comments. If you have any other requests, please send them through to me. Leave a like in the comment. Leave a comment, leave a like. Let me know what you want to see in future, and then we will definitely cover it. If you want Louise to also chirp in, because he is arguably one of the best CV players I know, I can Skype call him and we will let you know. We can discuss CV strategies as well. Anyway, thanks for watching Strategy Sunday, everybody, and hope you have a fantastic week further. Cheers.